Hi everyone, I hope you are all doing well. So today I'm going to walk you around the garden to show you some of the updates in the garden because some of the plants are actually showing signs of fall. So things are moving really quickly and I want to show you that before things change any further. And I also got some new plants as well as recently there's been a request to see the entire garden in the back as well as the furniture. So I will show you that as well. So let's get started. So at this angle, you can still see that the garden is looking lush. Everything is still looking exceptionally well, even though, August has been really hot for us this year. So I'm just so thrilled that everything is still looking the way that they do, because in a few weeks, like I said, things will change and start looking much more like autumn and fall. And here is the full view of the front garden at this time of the season. And as you can see, everything is still looking fresh. And you can even see the zinnia blooms from here as well in the planters that I planted in the back. This is a gorgeous view of the front garden right now. And you can see the two planters, they're looking really fresh, as well as the spiral boxwood and everything else. And I think the highlight right now is the little lime panicles. They are absolutely stunning right now. And since the last update, you can see that the royal carpet alyssum is now in full bloom and everything is looking exceptionally gorgeous right now. And as always, I love the glittery effect of the blooms on the alyssum against the chartreuse green of the Anna's Magic Ball. I think this is a really pretty sight. And I still haven't cut back the crystal blue salvia because they're always covered with lots of honeybees. And they're still feeding on some of the blooms that are left. So I haven't cut that off yet. But as soon as everything is done, I will cut it back. And hopefully I'll be able to reflush again from now until fall. And that at this angle, you can actually see the blooms of the dwarf boomerang lilac. They're starting to rebloom again. I mean, the amount of blooms is not as prolific as the one in the spring, but I think it's really providing gorgeous color at this time in the season. So I love that lilac. And the blooms are always covered in lots and lots of honeybees. And the lilac blooms are really scented as well, which is really one of the favorite things for me during spring as well as at this time when they're blooming again. And here at this view, you can actually see the zinnia blooms. Look at that. It looks like a humongous bouquet with lots and lots of those zinnia, beautiful, gorgeous colors. And I actually love the Anna's Magic Ball under this late afternoon, early evening sun. Look at that, got the foliage. It looks like it's glowing in the background, right? So pretty. And from this angle, you can see the white snow alyssum as well as the pink color of the autumn joy sedum against the lime green color of the little lime. I think that's just a beautiful combination of colors here. And the botanicals on this little lime now, it's looking absolutely stunning. I think this is like one of the best beautiful looking thing right now because everything else is starting to look pink, and so it provides a sort of a different color contrast. And you can see the contrast between the little lime panicles against the arborvitae as well as the pink bloom of the sedum. I think it's just really perfectly sort of balanced, right? Really pretty. Isn't this a gorgeous combination of colors and blooms here? So pretty. I love it. I can't get over that in a few weeks everything will look different, and in a few months all of these will be gone, which makes me a little sad. And looking at the quick fire standing right now. You can see that there are 4 stems on here, and they're just really long, and normally I just cut them right back to kind of like let them blend in with the rest of the canopy, but there are some really fresh looking blooms on there, and so I thought, you know what, leave them on and let them provide a little bit of fresh color against the old blooms of the quick fire, right? So anyway, so it looks a little off, but you know what, I think it's really pretty regardless, so I decided to leave them on. So that's how they're gonna look until later, I think. And at this angle, you can actually see that some of the foliage on the quick fire, it's actually changing to a yellowish color, and they look almost like they're burnt, right? So I think they're just really stressed out with all the heat that we've been getting since the beginning of August. I don't know if you live in our region, you'll probably remember that we haven't had much rain since the beginning of August. We had a lot of rain in July and June, but not this past 3 weeks or so. So anyhow, I think they're a little bit stressed out and they're ready to settle for autumn. So, but aside from the drying or the changing color of the foliage, I think the blooms are really gorgeous right now. It's got a hint of dusty pink, almost like that deep pink. That looks, I think, really pretty right now. And from now until fall, the color will continue to darken to a burgundy, which I think is really gorgeous as well. But right now, I am just really enjoying this. So pretty. And from this view, you can see the contrast between the panicles of the quick fire against the lime green of the little lime. That, I think, looks really stunning. And here, looking at the aged panicles of the bulbos, aren't they so pretty? They have that sort of airy look and that sort of almost like glittery effect as well, right? I don't know, but like I said, in a few weeks when these things start changing, that's gonna make me really sad, because I will really miss this. I'm so used to looking at them for the past few months that I think I'll be really sad this winter. And from this view, you can also see the little lime panicles, the arborvitae, the autumn joycetum, as well as the lilac blooms and the Japanese maple. So pretty. I love this view as well. And you can see the blooms on the autumn joycetum are starting to change color, right? I think from now until September, they will darken up even more and look even more gorgeous. And from this view, you can actually see the zinnias in the planters, or at least one of the planters, really nicely, right? So let me just quickly show you all the different colors of the zinnia blooms that I got from planting just 2 flowers. So like I said, 2 flowers, but all the seeds provided, I think I counted a total of 6 different shades of zinnia bloom colors. So I think that's just really fantastic. Here's one of the pink colors. Isn't that a gorgeous pink? I love that color. Here's another one that's a little bit lighter. And here's another pink too. This is sort of, you know what? I cannot even describe what the colors are. So I'm just gonna show them to you and let you decide for yourself what the colors are. And this is a deep pink. It looks almost like that fuchsia, sort of dark pink color. Looks so pretty. And this one looks almost like a dark lavender pink light color. And this one is just another shade of lavender pink. That's a little bit lighter than some and darker than others. So pretty. And as we get to the end of August, looking at these 2 planters, does it look like fall to you? No, right? Like it's full and covered with blooms. And it's just so pretty. I am really loving this combination of colors that I've used here this year, although it was all accidental, like I said before, right? So I'm just so glad that everything turned out so nicely. And here is another view of the planters that I have here right next to the zinnia planters, and you can see the zinnia blooms at the top there as well. Love the angel wing, the kitty clematis, and this one, like I said, these are the mums that I had that overwinter in the container and came back, right? So this one is not blooming yet, but I have another one on the other side that just started blooming, so it's looking really pretty. So let's come over here to show you the blooms on the zinnias on this side of the garden. And here is this garden right here. I think considered that we've had no rain since the beginning of August. It's still, I think, looking pretty good, right? Very pretty still. So on this side, you can see that the mums actually started blooming. So I think perhaps this one gets more sun than the other, but anyhow, I am really loving these mums, and I'm so glad that they came back. So I think I'm going to try to winterize it a little bit better this year, so that it will be guaranteed that they'll come back next year. And at this angle, I'm also loving this combination of plants and blooms as well. The mums, it's got a hint of sort of buttery yellow against the white super bells with that sort of yellowy center, and the snow alyssum. And the centerpiece, just the dwarf Alberta spruce. I think that's really pretty. Very simple, but pretty looking, right? And this zinnia planter has some of the same combinations as the other one, except that it does have, I think, one or two blooms that are slightly different than the other one. So I'll show you those. So this one has another color, which is like a very blush lavender kind of a color here that looks a little bit different. And it also has a sort of pure white looking bloom on here as well, which it's not in the other planter. So I think that's really pretty. And I think this pastel pink might be a little bit different than the blooms in the other planter as well. So pretty. And don't forget the geranium here, the variegated geranium here at the front, right? Look at them. They are just looking absolutely stunning. So I don't know, the blooms with the contrasting foliage, I think I really love this combination. And I know I've said it before, but I love the foliage on here. I think this is so stunning, and even the scent on this, right? I don't know if you like it or not, but I love the scent on the geranium foliage, as well as the flowers. So nice. It's so, I don't know, I can't explain it, but I think the scent on this one compared to all the other geraniums, it's actually a lot more stronger and more fragrant than any of the geraniums that I've had before. So really pretty. And the foliage on this geranium also has a nice texture to it as well. I find it's a bit more fuzzy, and whenever I'm out here, I'm always reaching to touch this because they actually remind me of the angel wing succulent that I have on the other side of the garden. So anyway, and the scent as well, right? When you rub it, you can actually smell it even more. And I don't know what it is, but I find that the scent is quite relaxing, right? So soothing. So here I am showing you from the view on the west side of the garden. I'm just moving from the west to the east, and as you can see, all of the plants that I've got, my limelight, and then our sort of dining room set here, and I'm moving all the way to the east side. Anyway, I hope you can see all the different details here. So this is our patio door. So I was just standing here looking out, showing you how the whole entire view from the patio door just there now. From this view, I had to close the curtain, sorry, because it was reflecting back and it was hard to see, so I closed the curtains there. So here at this angle, you can see our patio furniture. And again, I am not very stylish, and I just like to keep things clean and tidy and non-fussy, right? So you can see that the sitting area there, it's got some chairs, some cushion with a bench. And what I have there is how everything looks every day. Unless we're out here, we're eating, then we would remove the planter and put food there. And we're always out here having dinner, having breakfast. And so this is as good as it ever looks, because I'm not really into styling or formal dining kind of a setting. So everything that you see here is how everything always looks. And all the furniture that you see here, they're actually over 10 years old. So yeah, so we've had them, used them at our old house for over 5 years. And then we've been here for about 5, and we've had them since then. So everything here is just really like out of, I guess, out of style maybe, because like I said, they're over 10 years old. So so all the furniture here is got an aluminum frame, and all the material here that you see, all that sort of grayish composite material. And because like I said, I don't cover this up, and I just kind of leave them, right? So anything that can look like that for over 10 years, I think that's a pretty good quality, right? And also, like I said, you know, our Canadian weather is just so drastic between the cold, the snow, and everything else. So I just like to have things that will last and be able to withstand our winter. And here you can see this is the middle of the patio that sort of divides up the sitting area and the dining area. 2 of those chairs that we got in, again, the same sort of that composite material here with the grouping of plants that I've got here. And here on this side, you can see our dining table with the 6 chairs, and we have a barbecue there, and then we've got lots of planters in the back behind the table as well. And here right behind the dining table, we've got the other boxwood that I moved recently, as well as some herbs. I've got thyme, basil that I'm trying to collect seeds, and then my geranium that I got for 45 cents, and that bobo tree or standard that I trained recently, and a planter of green onions and some of the other herbs as well, and also a vanilla strawberry standard that I'm trying to train as well. And here we are looking at the garden on the west side. Look at the panicles of the limelight. Isn't that a beauty? And these bulbal panicles are still looking so fresh. Aren't they so pretty looking? And here is the trellis with the Westerplatte as well as the Pilu clematis. They're starting actually to rebloom again. So I am so thrilled. And the entire trellis is covered in buds. And you can see that the Westerplatte is already in bloom. And there's tons and tons more buds to be opened pretty soon, I think. And here we're going towards the east side of the garden. And as you can see, the limelight on the east side is looking a bit more green than the one on the west side, right? And then the limelight tree that I've got in the back, and a whole bunch of peppers and other plants that I've got behind there. And here we're looking at the David Austin roses. I've got the Evelyn rose as well as the Lightful Angel and the Marie rose. They're starting to rebloom as well. So I did cut them all the way back for the past, I don't know how many weeks, but just recently I noticed that the Japanese beetles were sort of on their way out. So I started to allow these stems to grow back up again. And so since then they've just started to rebloom. So thrilled that I'm able to still see some of these blooms on them. And here is the planter with the little lime punch that I planted up a little while ago. No blooms on it yet, but it's actually still thriving and looking gorgeous, I think. And here in the planters behind the sitting area, you remember I had some tomato plants over here. That's my mint, and then I've got my limelight in the stander, and then I've got another one that had a zucchini plant in it that I just recently removed, and there's now a pepper one in there. And I also sowed the bottom here with lots of columbine seeds, and I've got 2 planters with hot chili peppers there. And here's a view of the garden from the east side looking to the back. And you can see the limelight, you can see the patio set, the firelight, the lava lamp, and all the way across to the west side of the garden. I love this view as well. Look at the limelight. I think between the 2 limelight hydrangeas, the one on the west side looks really pretty, right? Because it bloomed a little bit later, so it still retains its sort of white fluffy color. Really, really pretty. And from this angle, you can see the boxwood. I've got the rosemary container as well as the hosta, Patriot hosta container, and then I've got another spider plant on this side, another rosemary as well as the same container on the other side on the steps into the house there. So here are some of the things that I just recently bought. I got myself 2 of these tulip, they're single early tulip mix from Costco. I think it was $16.99, I think. And it's got that sort of like that purple with the lavender and the yellow. I think that's a gorgeous combination of color. And looking at this hydrangea, can you guess what it is? So here is just a quick close-up on the quick fire fab. This is like the plant that I've been wanting forever because I've always wanted one of these, and every time I go to the nursery it's either sold out or it's either not there or for some reason I never find it. So finally I found 1 can and I had to get it. And again, hydrangeas are just so resilient. You can't really go wrong with them in any state. So anyhow, I didn't have too many to choose from, but you know what, I took it, whatever I was able to find I took. So this one's supposed to be very early blooming, possibly even earlier than the original quick fire stand that I have at the front of the house. So I usually get blooms on those in early July. So if this blooms that early and it's got that full panicle fluffy look, right? So I think it's going to be a gorgeous addition to the garden. All I have to do now is find a place to plant it, right? So it's got that sort of unique shape of florets on these panicles, and unlike the other quick fire, this one is a full panicle, not the lace cap. I mean, I love the lace cap because they're like attracting a lot of pollinators, but this I think is a pretty good contrast next to the other quick fire. I think it's going to be a gorgeous combination, right, in early summer. The stats are pretty much the same. It's hardy to zone 3 to 8 as well as 6 to 8 feet tall. So I cannot wait to see these bloom for me next early July, because you know what, this is probably something that like I said, I've been wanting one of these forever. So I am so excited to show you this next year, or to see for myself how it's gonna do in the garden next year. So anyhow, I think I'm going to stop the video here. I want to say thank you so much for watching the video, and also for your requests, right, to see the garden, because if you didn't request it, I would never know, or I would never think of showing you all of this, because I just think that I'm not very stylish, and whatever I have here is stuff that I've had for so long now that is probably out of style. So that's why I never feel like anyone would want to see it. So anyhow, I hope you enjoy it. I hope it inspires you, or it helps to sort of for you to picture what this whole garden looks like. So anyhow, again, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. You have yourself a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.